everyone. Welcome back to the indieRIFT podcast. I'm Steve. That's Andy. Andy, how you doing, man?
I am doing well today, my brother. It's
Mm.
been a fun week. New job has begun. I'm very excited.
Ooh.
So I'm bringing high energy to this. Ooh, it's 10 o'clock. Late
Yeah,
for
it's
us.
late, man.
But
It's
I
late.
don't mind.
But we had a lot of catching up to
We're
do before the show, so
yeah.
we had to talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the indieRIFT podcast, the internet's number one indie gaming news, reviews, and previews podcast you've never listened to. Probably.
Fact. It's a fact.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
Okay, sure, we're welcome.
We actually have quite a bit to dive into this week. I don't know if you checked out last week's show, but if you didn't, that was our kind of 2024 wrap up. It's been turbulent for us here in the last few months, but we're back on track, baby. Back on track 2 weeks in a row. What? But we had to
Look
wrap
at
up
us.
last year and put a little bow on it, and now we get into this year, which we have so much to talk about. If you're new to the show, this is what we do. We talk about the indie games we're playing. Then we talk about the indie news around the world. Then we talk about maybe some demos we've been playing of indie games, just to kind of give you a little, maybe check this demo out. Then we give you our wish list roundup, which are games all over that are coming out maybe soon, maybe years from now. It doesn't matter, but they're games that we think you should have on your wish list. Then if there's a cool deal, we tell you that. We'll tell you the Kickstarter. If there's something like that, we'll wrap up with some mailbag, and then we'll get out of here. That's the show. That's what we're about. We're about giving you the indies into your brain hole, because the indies are just better. They're just better, you know? They're just better than those AAA games. Every time a AAA game comes out, you're like, this character is a woman, I hate it. Or, this game has a frame rate that drops below 63 times. But no, indie games, you know what you're getting. You're getting heart, you're getting soul, you're getting fun. That's
I
what the
was gonna
indie games are
say,
all about.
like sometimes you don't know what you're getting, and that's why I love
And
indie
that's
games, 'cause
those
they're
are the
not
best ones.
cookie cutter. They're not made by committee or an executive board. It's just
I
some
have
dudes and gals love indie
people with
games and
ideas making the
yeah.
idea happen and not having to pass it through any fat cat in a suit. Not trying to make any board members happy. You know what I mean? And one of those games is my first game in the indie game adventures. It's called IDUN or Eden.
Oh, look at this game.
Yeah, I don't know if I talked about it on the show before.
Oh no, did you go away?
No.
Did I lose you?
Oh, you froze.
I'm still online.
Oh, you froze for a second. Now you're back. So am I back now that you're back?
Yes, you're back.
Okay, so there you go. Listen, technology, ladies and gentlemen. We're an indie podcast about indie games. It happens. Okay? All right? So let's talk about Eden. IDUN. This game is really cool.
I love how it looks.
Yeah, it's sort of a RTS hero-ish game. The best way to describe it is you have different kinds of missions. Sometimes you're escorting, sometimes you're protecting, sometimes you're searching and mining for things. But the basic crux of it is you got hordes of enemies coming at you, and you have to gather. The levels are very short, usually 3 to 4 minutes. You have heroes that have special abilities. You know, they have their own sort of play style. Some, one guy has a shotgun, one guy has a sniper. There's one that's melee swords, very quick. There's one that does melee. It's very heavy hitting and slower and stuff like that. But then you're building out your base, and during when you're doing that, you're unlocking more technologies and powering up your units and stuff. There's all different kinds of turrets that you can do. There's also a real-time ship weapon mechanic. So your point of view on the game is like from the ship, kind of. And there are different weapons that you can have. The first one you get is like a minigun, and you could use your mouse, just hover over and just hold E, and it just shoots like machine guns down at the planet that you're doing your mission. There's like a giant laser that falls out of the sky. You could launch like you could actually send pods down that create other units to come out and fight with you and for you and stuff like that. But the basic gist of it is there's this planet. It's whatever, and there's each level is like a hex on there, and you could choose how much of it you want to do to get to bigger spots on it that have like more in-depth missions and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I've played probably 35 levels, and
Damn.
they're just very it's very addicting because each mission gives you something a little something different, whether it's the enemy types that you're going to have to defend against, or it's the type of mission. One of my favorite ones is like this nuke payload mission where you have to bring the payload, which is painfully slow. You have to drag it along, make a path for it, and it's slowly making it to this like boss hive basically. And
Mm-hmm.
you'll be dropping turrets and troops and stuff while you're mining this like currency which you use to buy more units to like send out, and you're surrounding your traveling nuke, trying to keep it from blowing up and dying so that it could get to the hive and blow it up. That's like one of my favorite missions. It's just it leaves a lot of variety. The maps are very different, like all the different biomes that you're in, but they also like will have different hazards that you have to worry about as well. The cool thing is your turrets are not permanent. You could drag them with you, drag them
Mm-hmm.
anywhere. Like if you see there's a bunch of enemies coming from the right, you can drag them, put them to the right, set up. It's kind of like a um, tower defense RTS.
Yeah,
That's
that's the
that's
vibe
kind
I'm
of
getting
yeah,
from it.
that's kind of like what it feels like. This
Mm-hmm.
came out in just about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
The only true downside to this game, and I don't know if this is true, but it feels 100% that all the voice acting is AI.
AI.
It
Okay.
sounds so inhuman, and just just bad. Um, if you were an actor or that did this voice acting and maybe that was your direction, I do apologize if I'm insulting you, but like it just doesn't sound like they belong. Like it's like the inflections are wrong. It feels like a robot trying to ascertain what the scene is about based on the dialogue, but and then when they put it together, it just doesn't make sense. Like the way they're talking to each other, it's like somebody recorded lines 4 months ago and then the other person only sees the lines on paper and doesn't know what that person said or how they said it. So they're just saying the lines how they would say it with an imaginative other person in the scene. It's just really weird. That being said, the actual story that's happening is interesting enough for me not to give too much of a shit about what it sounds like. It's cool. Like I could see this if this game had, a bigger audience, it would make a really interesting IP to explore further into like first person shooter or like first person horde survival game or even a tabletop game. I could see this being cool. It has a really cool IP attached to it, I think. But yeah, that's Eden. It's developed by Eden Interactive and published
Which
by
is
Surefire Games.
That's so funny. I was like, I gotta look these guys up. And like, you named your game after your studio, or you named your studio after your game?
Probably studio after the game. It was probably a
S-
bunch of it was probably a handful of people making a game
So,
called Eden, and they were like,
yeah.
we need to name our studio because we're a
So
studio now.
here's what breaks my heart. First of all, they have like a stupidly low amount of followers on Twitter. I'm gonna follow you guys right now, and then I'm gonna harass you to come on the show. That's gonna happen.
Mm,
And there's a really amazing quote on their homepage I want to read.
yes, please.
Likely the director or the CEO of the company.
Okay.
I love making games so much I forget to breathe. That is
Okay.
that is poetry. I love that. That's like the indie game
I like it.
mantra.
I like it.
Um, Yeah, this looks really cool. I saw like orbital lasers in the trailer, like
Yeah, yeah.
some mech
Yeah,
things going
that's a cool
on.
mission too,
Some
where
whirly saw things slicing and
yeah,
dicing enemies. I was like,
yeah.
okay, this
And
is
you
this
and you
is
upgrade them too, like you like oh, I didn't even mention that part. There's like a rogue aspect to it where
oh, it
when you
gets better.
so you remember I was talking about the currency that you could use to upgrade. The currency
Hmm.
upgrades options. They're like
Hmm.
random cards. So like one of them might be, make your blades on fire so they do more damage,
Hmm.
or one would be like make this unit fire more bullets more quickly, or whatever. It's like
Hmm.
all different things like that. Or one of them could be make all future item caches be the next rarity level higher from now on, like stuff like that. So
Okay.
there's always something different no matter how many times. I haven't played this a same mission more than once because there's so many you could just play. um so yeah, I mean, this game has a lot of content for the amount uh it costs, which I think is like, I think it's $20.
That's like 15 bucks.
$15, yeah, totally. Like, it's a steal.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a great time playing it. Andy, let's get into your game.
So this game I mentioned way back on the podcast. I think it was either a demo or a wish list or whatever. Um, but it's out. It's a game called No Skin.
Mhm.
This also doubles as our steal of the week, you
Sweet
guys did,
nectar.
because it's only, I believe, $5, six
$5, dude.
bucks.
$6, dude.
It's on sale.
Is it
The intro,
$6.66? Are they cute like that?
no, it's 6.99 and it's 5.94 is the 50% off introductory offer.
Oh, sweet.
So let me give you the rundown of this game. I took some screenshots while I was playing earlier today because I was like, the dialogue is so fucked and it's gonna give Steve like nightmares. So I gotta read the exact quotes. So the basic premise is you're like a guy with your friends after work in your apartment. You're smoking up, you're drinking, having a good time, exchanging some, barbs here and there with your close friends. And then one is like, "Hey, there's a thing outside. Can you go and get it?" I forget what the exact exchange was, but it's like, "Go out in the hallway." And you're like, "Okay, cool." And you're like a little wobbly, so you go out and like the walls are like a little warped, a little this action going on, a little waviness because you're a little bit drunk and tipsy,
Mm.
and you see a guy down the hallway with no skin,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, "Where's my skin? You took my skin,
Yeah.
and you have to get it back." And you're like, "Bro, I didn't take your skin. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And he's like, "Yeah, you took it, and you gotta give it back." And he's like, "Until you do, I will show you things as they really are.
Uh-uh.
And then when you progress, like you'll see your friends as enemies, but twisted versions of them as you're playing the game." Um, but the most fucked up thing is what he says at the end. He's like, "If I see you again and you don't have my skin, I'll be the last thing you see." So I'm like, yeah, that kind of dialogue, I'm in. Like you got me. Like the premise is why I'm there. So great setup, great premise. I love it. Very spooky. Um, it's a roguelike horror game. Um, First person RPG in a sense. As in you see the enemy, you can pick a melee weapon, items, spells kind of ish, or escape. And the idea is you progress from room to room in your apartment complex. And as you defeat enemies, your percentage towards finding the skin increases,
Okay.
which is insane to me.
Huh.
And the fun part is, as you enter a new room, there's like multiple scenarios with a percentage attached to each scenario. So it's like
Oh, I
you'll
see.
encounter
Okay.
an enemy
Yeah.
in this room, like 80%. You'll find the ammo in this space, 20%. You'll encounter a fish, which is like a merchant, like 10%. So like you explore the rooms. Once you explore all of them, new rooms open up. You get health back. Um, it's really fun because you can like
Mm.
stack items on each other. So there's one, I believe it's called Nightshade, that it gives like a +1 to your melee. It's like a kitchen knife that
Okay.
does 1 damage off the bat. So you can like hoard a whole bunch, and then when the boss happens, use them all, and it's like one swipe you can kill them
Oh yeah.
essentially. There's like a mechanic that like gives you 2 bullets after each if you kill an enemy with ammunition. So you can
Okay.
save a round for the end, kill it, and then you get a +1. So like is that kind of strategy is
Oh,
built
okay.
into it too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's super creepy, and then as you progress, you unlock other characters with different traits and starting weapons and abilities. And not enough people are talking about it. It's got like great reviews, and it's not expensive. I'm like, guys, like this will be a review soon on the website, uh, and hopefully on the podcast because I love this game.
It
Like I was hooked with the demo, and now it's like it's here. I'm like, yes, it's amazing.
the premise reminds me of I went down like a TikTok rabbit hole a few
Hmm.
weeks ago, and it was about people who had I don't remember if it was mushrooms. It might have been mushrooms, but um they like a lot of people had the same reaction to it. I forget what it was exactly, but you could probably Google it, and it's about the sky in particular. It's like people would
Hmm.
see what the world really is. Like that's what they would claim is like what's really there, what's outside of this perception that we have. And it was like this overlord, like giant monster
Yeah,
in the
well,
sky. Um,
that's like that's They Live. That's John Carpenter. That's wear these sunglasses and you see the world for what it really is, kind of a
right.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Similar
Yeah,
thing. But like these
yeah,
people all described this creature, this giant, like
yeah. I
almost like
know this
alien.
story.
Yeah, like they all describe it
Yeah,
in detail the same way,
yeah.
and they were not at all like knowing of each other. I think it might have been an experiment or something. I don't remember exactly. This was weeks ago, but
That
I
sounds
remember
so
looking at
cool.
him like, what if, man? Like, what if there is like a weird trip you can go on that your brain. The conversation was about how our brain is on a certain frequency, and this
Hmm.
psychoactive thing, I don't remember if it was acid or if it was mushrooms, whatever it was, changes that frequency so your brain perceives different stuff. And
Hmm.
that's what they were like, well, this is something that it's perceiving. Maybe it's people going in another dimension or seeing a different
Yeah.
dimension, like just weird shit. But anyway, that's what that reminded me of when you were talking about that. Let's do something a little lighter, little palate cleanser,
Yes.
little palate cleanser. I'm in love with this game. I don't know if I spoke about it here on the show before, but
You did. You did. Yes.
Dyson Fold, I'm still in love with this game. This game is fantastic. It is a roguelike dice rolling game. Where you have a character, you pick your class. Each class has its own ability, and basically you activate abilities and attack enemies with dice. So your ability will be activated with a certain dice, whether it's an even dice, an odd dice, or a specific dice, whether it's a 4 or a 3, whatever. um, you'll see numbers and you'll see dice faces. Numbers is the cumulative dice value. So if an enemy has a value of 12, any dice combination to equal 12 will satisfy that box and either kill the enemy or maybe we'll have another box, whatever. And your abilities are activated the same way. Um, and as you're continuing your you'll get like a party member. When you get a party member, you get an additional die, and they have abilities that they can do for you. um you have a dice bag that you can bank some numbers instead of getting rid of them when you're done, which is really helpful if you don't always know what's coming, but if sixes aren't always the most important because some enemies they'll literally have um like you have to have two twos uh rolled to kill this enemy, right? you
Oh,
know
interesting.
or yeah, it's like there'll be the face of the die matters on something. So you may have one that needs just two of anything, so just a cumulative two, or you'll need an exact two, and you're like, okay, well, I could use a 3 to satisfy the 2. I'll use the 2 face to get satisfy the 2, and stuff like that. There are I think 2 dozen characters um to choose from, and when you satisfy a run, you unlock more. Um, this game is really difficult. Um, I was playing on normal for quite a few runs and not getting anywhere near the boss.
Okay.
So I bumped it down to easy. I've been playing through all the classes on easy, and then obviously you unlock more things. You get like permanent boons that you unlock when you kill bosses with certain characters. Mostly those boons are random, but like you have to satisfy certain things, and then you could carry those boons with you on another run um, to just unlock other things. Um, the game is great. It's probably one of my favorite games of the year so far. It came out last year, admittedly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I've been absolutely in love with it. So
Wow.
yeah, top
Well,
top tier.
well, Stephen, I have a boon to ask of you.
Ooh.
Take us to the Indie News Report.
All right, let's talk about some news. Well,
Yeah.
Kingdom Come Deliverance Dose. That sure is selling.
Yeah, 1 million per game in the franchise.
Yeah, man. Two, so, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 approaches 2 million sales, surpassing expectations. This was a few days ago, so it's probably past 2 million by now. It's from Twisted Voxel. Just go give them a click. This game has been all over my social media, like clips of the game and stuff.
Same here, man.
Yeah, a lot people seem to dig it a lot. This was kind of all the talk before Avowed came out. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know former indieRIFT / Dual Screens host, it's Perjure Taylor. He's been playing a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's enjoying it. He liked the
Oh,
first one.
nice.
Yeah, so good on them, man. That's great. Keep building on that.
Mm-hmm,
You know what it
mm-hmm,
reminds
mm-hmm.
me of? It feels like their story feels like uh, CD Project Red, like, and The Witcher, like just striking lightning in a bottle and like getting better with every iteration. Like
Yeah,
it's becoming a darling of the industry.
yeah. The first game was a very solid experience. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
yeah,
But it was also it had its issues.
sure.
But I think there was a solid concept and foundation, and they made a great experience. And then sequel comes out, and like there's such a huge hype behind it, and it's a much more improved product. And it's on my list. I have it on the PS5, so I'm waiting
Yeah,
at some point to dive into that. So great job, guys.
indeed. Speaking of PS5 and PC, Pacific Drive.
Here we go.
Yeah. 1 year later, 3 updates, 1 million copies sold. That's incredible.
Yeah, I think our last update with these guys was 500K, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
I like to keep tabs on former guests of the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, and I just love seeing like games that we have covered in great detail and
Mhm.
know the devs in a very, intimate level be successful. And this game deserves all the success it's going to get because it's an amazing experience.
Yeah. Speaking of success, I don't know if this success. I don't know if the sales of this game is the success or the fact that they still haven't collapsed from a cease and desist. Uh, but Palworld has, in 1 year across Steam, Xbox, and PS5, has 32 million players.
That's wild, dude. That is absolutely
32
wild.
million tamers. PAL tamers. That is
That's crazy.
redonkulous.
Well, they have a war chest now to, you know, to fight Nintendo in court.
To make PAL
You know,
come on.
Law and Order SV, fuck you. This is gonna
They
happen
could
at the end
just
of
they
the
could just come
day.
up with PAL Stadium. No,
Oh
PAL
yeah.
PAL Coliseum. Yeah, that's it.
Do you wonder how, like, if this was on the Switch or the Switch 2, how much it would sell?
Yeah,
Like all the baggage and bullshit of Nintendo aside,
yeah, yeah.
um, if it was just able to be on that platform, I think you would see double that amount of players easily.
Do you think I would love to get the devs on the show, but whatever.
It might be I'm not sure if they speak English. I think
Yeah,
they're
I
a
know,
Chinese-based company.
I know.
And I've always wanted to do a whole like translator in the room with us.
Oh, that'd be
I've entertained it before for a guest that kind of like was a little bit
yeah,
reluctant
yeah,
because of the language barrier.
yeah.
But I'm open to trying. I can send out an email and see what happens.
What I want to ask
Google
is,
Translate was have it in the corner.
when they were making this,
Hmm.
and I think the chances of this happening are 100%, but I want to know
Yeah.
for sure. Did they put Pikachu in this game in the studios just so they could shoot it with a machine gun?
Oh my god. That was the genesis. That was where the game came from. It was a bunch of dudes
Pika,
like
motherfucker! Anyway, all right, yeah, cool, dope.
All
We
right,
got a
good
release
stuff, guys.
report. You got something new on here. We got a release report. We got 3 games
Yeah.
that you
Mhm.
want to talk about. Tell everybody about them. Tell us.
All right. One of my favorite games of last year, favorite horror games of last year, also,
See,
Mouthwashing,
yes.
is crashing onto consoles later this year.
Hell yeah, brother.
So Mouthwashing is being released from PC, and it's coming out. I think it's on all the things. This is specifically on Push Square reporting the PS5 release, but it could be on other things too.
Mm.
Let me live fact check that for us.
Sure, you could live fact check that while I say that Sorry We're Closed is making its way to consoles as well on March 6th. Also probably on, it says consoles. Yes, it's coming to PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Switch. So
Yeah.
Sorry We're Closed is coming
Yes.
over.
So Mouthwashing is coming to all the things as well. I just confirmed that. And Sorry We're Closed is a nice little old school survival horror game.
Yes.
With some funkiness to it that you should all check out. If you like demons and
Mm.
funk, I would check out that game.
The Thing Remastered is getting a physical edition in June, except Xbox?
Right, because no one who owns an Xbox buys games for it. This is only going to come out for the PS5 and the Switch.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
But all kidding aside, I don't like to double dip often.
Sure.
Nor do I care for like a deluxe physical edition of most things with like
Yeah, but
steel
you're a
box
horror buff.
cases
You're a
and
horror
artwork.
collector and shit. You like
But
this stuff.
this is the game I would do it for.
That's like me with
So-
Turtles. Like if there's a turtle, like when they came out with that Turtles physical edition,
Right. Right.
the only reason why I didn't get it is because it was sold out. So
Right.
otherwise that would be on my shelf behind me with
Correct.
my gingerbread Batman.
Yeah. So look forward to that. Look forward to getting more of my money, Night Dive Studios. Thank you very much.
Look forward to just a couple of days from now. We're gonna swing into some news here. Annapurna Interactive is gonna bring their live stream back, the interactive showcase.
Hell yeah.
It's coming back. Hell yeah. Annapurna Interactive staff and its namesake parent company, Annapurna Pictures, has seemed to settle its differences, which is great. Remember, they were having a lot of weird shit going on there. Everybody was mad at each other.
Mm-hmm.
But Annapurna is one of our favorites. They make such good stuff. Such good stuff.
They do.
And I'm glad to
do.
see
I'm so
that they're going to
glad.
be back, and the game division is now happy. But see,
Yeah,
sometimes you guys could just work shit out, you know?
Yeah, they curate amazing indie games and develop some of them too sometimes. So it's I'm excited about that. Yeah.
This next story is pretty interesting, and I think we're going to spend a couple minutes on it if we can. This is from Push Square, but it's about an interview that VentureBeat did with Shuhei Yoshida, of course, who is just a golden child of PlayStation. PS5 has narrowed the gap on Switch's indie game sales, says Shuhei Yoshida. Um, I'm just gonna read. It's pretty short. I could read most of this here. Um, Many of you, Sony's relationship with indie developers has had some ups and downs over the last 10 and a bit years. Many of you recall during PS4's initial E3 press conference, the platform holder took the unprecedented opportunity to spotlight a bunch of indie games coming to the console. This was more of a surprise move at the time, yada yada. Okay. Shuhei Yoshida was asked by then CEO. Wait, hold on. Actually, this next sentence has some context here. But as the PS4 gained popularity, the manufacturer's interest inevitably started to wane. The company was heavily criticized for failing to support smaller studios, and releasing software on the system became a massive headache. I do remember that. That was kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Shuhei Yoshida was asked by then CEO Jim Ryan to fix all of that. And in an interview with VentureBeat, the ex PS studio boss shared some interesting intel on his progress. Quote, a few years back, one of the reasons I got the job from Jim was we'd been criticized by the indie community. They said that, oh, I gotta make this a little bigger because it's cutting it off for some reason. They said that PlayStation doesn't care about indies. You don't hear that kind of criticism anymore. Last year, we had lots of anecdotes from our indie partners that their new games were selling better on PlayStation than any other platform. That's amazing.
Wow.
Some games sold better on PlayStation than on PC. When I started that work 5 years ago, our indie partners would say that when they released their games multi-platform, the Nintendo Switch version would sell 3 to 5 times more than PlayStation. Bit by bit, that gap has narrowed down. We have a strong team inside the company supporting indies. So, pretty good stuff. Good on them. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy, but what else are they gonna fucking do? Like, they haven't had a first party game like what seems like 3 years now. Like, I
I
mean,
know.
they don't
When was
make any. They
Astrobot?
have
Like 10 years ago?
well, Astrobot, yeah, but like they haven't. They used to just have something every 4, 5, 6 months. It was like, here's a big thing. Here's something great. Here's something for you. Here's something for you. Now it's like, we're making them. I promise. Like they're coming.
They're
They're
coming,
just
guys.
they're
They're
bigger
coming.
than we could ever imagine. Which I'm sure they are. I'm
Please
sure
be
Wolverine's
excited.
gonna be great. I'm sure the Naughty Dog space game is gonna be great. I'm sure all that's gonna be
Sure.
great. But like,
You just
so
want it
yeah,
now.
I feel like by default they had to focus on this. No, like that's kind
Yeah.
of inevitable.
Well, listen, I just like how, there's an audience for these kind of games, and
Sure.
if you market them and you put them in your storefront with top billing and you feature them on your state of plays or your showcases, it has an impact.
Mhm.
And, you know, the PlayStation fan base, they gobble up indie games a lot, it seems, and we're seeing more and more of like high profile games like we had. Oh my god, the name is escaping me and I hate myself for it. Oh my god, Sea of Stars.
Oh
Like a
yeah, yeah,
high
yeah.
profile game like that is like launching on like the PS Plus service, and we
Sure.
had like Kina and Bridge of Spirits, and Sifu, like all these amazing games that were just being put front and center by PlayStation on their
I really liked
services.
Kino.
Yeah, Kina was good. um yeah, or like a Stray, again, like amazing games like that are getting like the proper spotlight and attention by Sony, and just don't stop. Like, don't stop doing it
Don't
because
stop
indies
stopping.
deserve all the love. Don't stop stopping.
All right, let's slide into Demo Derby.
Oh
You
yeah.
played a demo that you want to talk about, and
Oh my
I
god.
hate
This
it.
is like if someone took a creepy pasta concept and turned it into a game.
Uh-huh.
That's what this is.
Okay.
Are you,
Benny
are, are
Bash.
are you looking at it? Do you
Yeah.
see what this is? So the
Yeah.
idea is that you have purchased a cursed video game cartridge
Okay.
and you're playing through it. And it's like one part's Mario Brothers 3 side-scrolly pixel art platformer,
Huh?
and then the other half is like creepy first-person puzzle horror game.
Huh?
and it's a very short demo, but I want more of it
Oh God.
because it's really twisted and messed up, and I just love the meshing of like lo-fi like 3D models and like sprites also, and it's like it's so creepy, dude. Like again,
So bizarre.
it is, you have to try it.
Ah!
This is also getting a write up. I'm working on it right now. Um yeah. So again, this is why I love the indie horror game scene specifically, because they give me shit like this on a constant stream. I will never run out on indie horror games that speak my language.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is like another one like No Skin that I talked about earlier that just it checks all the boxes. The premise, the gameplay, concept, creepy factor, like this person understands what horror is supposed to be. So yeah.
It's almost like absurdist horror. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, it
Yeah.
kind of gave me
It's got
chills.
some like escape room vibes to it
There
too.
was like
It's
a
really it's
there
really
was a
neat.
weird image there with like a missing child, but like
Or the missing kid poster, yeah.
yeah, like but it looked like a real like kid, like not a video
You know,
game kid.
it's like probably like the developer's like sister, for all we know. Like, hey, you want to be in my game?
Hate it. But when I say it that way, I mean I love it. Something also a little spooky,
Mm,
but in a fun way, in a much
in a
more
fun
fun
way.
way. Wish list roundup. I brought some oldies on here to talk about because they're one is coming out soon, and the other one it still doesn't have a date. But I want it on your wish list, ladies and gentlemen, because these are games I think should be on your wish list. And the first one is Poltergeist Possession Party. We played this at PAX, and it was one of our games of the show. So much fun. For those who don't know, it's a game where you're playing little ghosts, and you go and you so there are 4 people playing ghosts. There are people playing you're how do you explain it? Because this one is like you're possessing items, you're trying to fuck up the other ghosts, you're running around, you're picking up vehicles, and it's there's a big ghost chasing you into other areas and stuff. I mean, what a blast. But yeah, I played
Yeah.
this. I don't know. I think it might have been 2 years ago. I don't remember exactly, but Poltergeist is something that should be on everybody's list, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. And it's out, and it's out really soon too.
Yeah, it's out in April.
It's only a couple of months away.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. And there's a demo, so try it out, guys.
Yeah, go ahead, try it. Try it.
What
On
do
the
you
wish
got to
list.
lose?
Give it a go.
Mhm.
Back up to the list. Don't drop the cake. What the hell is this, Andy?
Oh my god.
You just
So
dropped the don't drop the cake
I
on the list just now.
I just dropped this link into the chat because I saw that you removed a game off the list. I
Yes,
was
because
like,
that game was out already, so I wanted to make.
Yeah, I'm gonna sneak one right in there because
Okay.
why not?
Yeah, don't
So
drop the cake.
imagine, remember the show Oz
Yes.
on HBO?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
So imagine like PT
Uh-huh.
meets Oz,
Huh.
because if you drop the cake, you're fucked.
Ew.
So the idea of this game is you're navigating this apartment or house hallways, there's doors everywhere, and there's like slight puzzle solving
Ugh.
aspects of it. But you have to hold a cake on a tray as you're walking down each hallway,
Yeah.
and it's very wobbly. And
Guess
for
what,
some
Andy?
reason, there's like deadly, I guess, sunflowers, or what are those, daffodils? I don't know what flower that is.
I don't know what it is,
In
but
the trailer.
I guarantee you the person that made this played Death Stranding.
And they like there's a guy in a suit with a sunflower head that stalks you. You have to like go into rooms and like be stealthy about it. There's a demo also, by the way, guys. You can try it out for free. But yeah, again, like back to my earlier point, horror games and indies, they're in no short supply. This is so wild and wacky, but there's an actual creep factor to it that I like. You're like carrying a cake on a tray, dude, trying to like navigate a cursed hallway.
I guarantee you, again, chances of this happening very high. The
Hmm.
developer was carrying a cake and somebody
Yeah.
opened a door in front of them, startled them,
Yep.
they dropped
Hmm.
the cake, and they were like,
Yep.
video game.
That's a game.
Indeed. Speaking of a game, is this seat taken? Is this seat taken is a logic puzzle game where you play matchmaker for a group of hilariously particularly people. Each character has pet peeves that make seating them a delightful challenge. Find the perfect spot for each person to unlock new levels in this cozy, silly, and relatable experience. Yes, especially if you have children. Everything has to be perfect. This is like the Goldilocks simulator. Um, Adorable looking. But yeah, this reminds me of the Dark Cloud village building part of that game where you're like,
Oh
I want to be
yeah.
close. I like water, and like the other guy's like, I don't like that
Yes.
guy, and so you're like building the
Holy
village with like
shit.
moving them around. But that's that. Yeah, that's basically
I
this.
forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah. This is cute. I don't want to move my
This is
body.
so
That's funny.
cozy. I love
Adorable.
it.
Yeah, it's adorable.
I'm gonna hit these guys up on Twitter right now.
Hell yeah.
Pody Pody Studio. With your adorable ass fucking game.
Sure,
That's what's happening
I
right
love
now.
the art too. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Um, Next on the listicle is a game I haven't heard a peep about in like 3 years, but it's still on there. It still says it's coming soon, and I hope that's true. Maybe if all of you put it on your wish list, it'll inspire them to give us some more info or something. But that's Drill Man Rumble. Do you remember this one, Andy?
I do, yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
I
This
recall
was
this one.
yeah. Um, this was it's a like a melee style brawler where you're playing these like characters with weapons that, for lack of a better term, drill. You could drill, crazy uppercuts and down smashes. You could dive across the level. Um, but it was unique enough, I think, to where it could kind of stand on its own and not be always compared to something like Smash. But it was also comfortable enough in that space where, um, if you had played, if you like Smash, if you're a Smash person, you might find something here to really like. Um, Lots of power ups too, if I remember.
Hmm.
But again, it's been years since we played it. I hope this game is still in action. Um, it's 1 to 8 players too, which just came up on the screen. I forgot about that too. I remember they had the 2 TVs set up. Um,
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Ooh, Andy, you just got all staticky. Something happened with the mic. Um,
Staticky.
yeah, for just for a second there. I don't know if it's not doing it anymore. But yeah, Drillman Rumble, check it out. Throw it on your Steam wish list, and yeah, show the indies some love. That's gonna do it for the show, Andy. We did it. We're at the end.
That was a very like beefy show.
Yeah, this is a show that meant something. Oh,
Some good news.
get in there.
Yeah. Good
Support
good
us.
wish list stuff.
Support us.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/indieRIFT. Colton, the journeyman Nestler. Thank you. We love you. Thank you as our Patreon producer. We will be back next week with another show, and I have a bunch of games that I'm going to be playing. As a matter of fact, I have no problem telling you right now what I'm going to be bringing next week to the table.
Ooh, I could do that too.
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should, because then we have to, because we said it here.
Right.
You know. Let me take a look here. I have a couple of games here. Bugtopia.
Hmm.
There's Bugtopia, which the developers were kind enough to give me a key for, so I'll be playing that. Kyborg. Remember that one?
Whoa.
Remember
Yeah.
Kyborg? Yeah, I'm gonna be playing
Fuck
Kyborg.
yeah, Kyborg.
And I'm gonna see if I can dive into Windward Horizon. I'm gonna try to. I don't know if I'll be able to fit a third game in there in the week,
Mhm.
but Bugtopia and Kyborg are definitely gonna be talked about next week. So tune in. What are you bringing to the table next week?
Uh, one game is the one that you took off the wish list. It's already out. Dawnfolk,
Sweet, awesome.
which I can,
Yeah, a lot of people have been playing that and have very high opinions on it. So
which I can say right now is Matt's game of the year.
yeah, Matt's been
I'm
really
already,
digging it.
I'm already calling it. And the other game, if I can find it, was a review code you sent me,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I've been
Um,
meaning to get into that. If I
yeah,
could find it,
that was. Hold on, I know
wherever
what it was.
you forwarded to me, I believe.
I did. Ooh, Jesus, you keep getting
Yeah,
all staticky on me.
I don't like that at all.
Let me see. I had it in my handy.
Ah, it was Momodora Moonlit Farewell.
Yes, terrible name. But looks dope. So
Yeah.
can't wait to hear your thoughts on
Oh,
that.
it's a PS5 key. Oh, I love you. I'll play on the Portal tonight.
Yes,
Amazing.
sir. Yes,
Oh, from our friends at
sir.
Playism. Good. Good team over there. Those
Indeed.
are good guys.
That's going to bring us to the end of the show, folks. Stay tuned on this here channel with the subscription and tell your friends and come hang out with us. Just talk indies with us. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
cool guys. We're not jerks. We know what we're doing around here. We love you. Thank you, Andy. Thank you,
We love
listeners.
you.
Thank you, viewers. And as always, please be excellent.